this theme was recommended to me by a subscriber of this channel, and yeah, I'm pretty glad that they did because I was having quite some fun with this team and also got a lot of wins in the process. I had something like 3-2, 4-1, 5-0 all the time, so only positive sets the other day. So yeah, Roserade is an absolute beast, like an off-meta Pokemon that you can use with a lot of success against a lot of threats in the current state of Summer Cup. Now with Pelipper coming in, this team is gonna be severely weak to this Pokemon. So what I want to do is to come into the battle with my Roserade, do as much damage as I can, and before we go down here, we can still go for that Weather Ball for some cheap damage on that KFC bird. So one shield is down. I don't know why they shielded, but still it kinda makes sense, I guess, because Roserade hits pretty hard. But what we can do here is to survive the next flame charge while we can still reach to the Hydro Cannon before the incinerate damage is registered, and also we can guarantee the knockout. With them going down, now all we need to do is to return into the battle with our Pidgeot, and of course we can absolutely devastate them with a simple Brave Bird. So here comes the move, here comes the nuke, down goes Pelipper. Let's get that victory to get the video going. Into the next battle now, everyone, with a Grident up in front. I really hate this Pokemon because not only it's kinda thick, but also it is pretty spammy with those body slams, while it can still carry the move Trailblaze. I decide to take the risk here and they end up going for those body slams, so right after they have one more body slam for me. I'm praying to survive here, but I definitely cannot do this, and now Roserade can easily come into the battle completely farming down by tanking one body slam in the process. Down goes Grident, but as you can see, they decide to aggressively switch out to their Charger Bug. This might have been a mistake, but also I cannot follow their switch because my Pidgeot is kinda weak to those electric moves. However, Roserade can charge up so much energy to bring them to a point that we can grab both of them shields out of play. This is a great play by Roserade, and also we guarantee the farm down with those wing attacks from our Pidgeot. Now let's see what they have at the very end. Galvanzula comes in, and before they switch out, even though they are switch locked, boom! Down goes Galvanzula back to its electric cave, and that is gonna be another huge victory for our team. Into the next battle now with the Shadow Feraligatr up in front. You know what, this is kinda good for us because we might be able to outspeed them to those Hydro Cannons. However, they can always survive on Hydro, but we cannot, and that is kind of a big bummer, but still we can try to catch the second Hydro Cannon on our Roserade. I was pretty sure they were gonna throw because we were also getting two Hydro Cannon and one more Mudshot, so yeah, you know that they're gonna throw sometimes anyways. So at this point I decide to let my Roserade go down, but we managed to do so much work with our Weather Ball, and now that they are shieldless, we can have the upper hand with our Swampy. Swampy being turned into Swampog for this one. However, we cannot one-shot down the remaining HP that they have. Doesn't matter, more energy for us, and now Wigglytuff at the very end. This Shadow Earthquake will deal so much damage on that Charmer, and of course we can complete the work that Swampert couldn't with our wing attack. So over here now Brave Bird once again, so many nukes on our opponents, and this team will emerge victorious once again. The battle of the Mud Boys now with the Shadow Quagsire up against us. Well, if they have Mud Bomb or if they have Aqua Tail makes little difference here because they can still two-shot us down, while all we need to do is to get to a simple Hydro Can to bring them extremely low. After we get information that they have Mud Bomb though, I know that for the third one they need 5 Mud Shots once again, because as always they need 5 Mud Shots for the first Mud Bomb and 4 for the second, so this makes a lot of sense. This is a loop 5-4-5-4. So in the process we managed to completely farm down, get out of here with a lot of energy, a double Hydro Cannon to threat that Pidgeot with their shields. this is gonna be looking pretty good for us now, especially when we block that Brave Bird of their own, and I get the feeling that they want to try and catch the next move on Lantern. So here comes now the Lantern, and of course we managed to show that Roserade and force them to top left that battle. A horrible lead in the next one, and before something weird happens, I'm just gonna go for that Grass Knot. The reason I'm not running Leaf Storm is because sometimes Roserade will survive the battle and you're gonna throw a Grass Knot, and with that Leaf Storm you're gonna get the debuff, and you do not want to get yourself in a big troubling position, since that Leaf Storm will leave you with a debuff no matter what. Anyways, now with that Sifter coming into the game, I know that I need to block whatever move they throw, especially the Leaf Blades, since now I can easily stall a little bit more and rely on my Pidgeot. So here comes now Quagsire. I also know here that one move can easily be tanked even if that is gonna be a Stone Edge, and that's mainly because of Mudshot doing almost no damage at all. So Brave Bird will drop them significantly low. I was expecting the knockout, to be fair, but my opponent can easily survive and still reach to the Aqua Tail to grab my final shield out of play. So we can go ahead and drop them to a point that they get the debuff, and also this Sifter has to throw some energy. So now my Swampert will come into the battle, but unfortunately for us, even with the debuff, Leaf Blade is just gonna touch us and down we go to a simple move. Into the next battle now, everyone, with a Chargeback up in front. This is not the best lead for them, so they switch out to Trevenant and we have the perfect answer for that. Pidgeot now is gonna emerge as a perfect anti-meta Pokemon here, and of course we can easily farm down completely by not spending any sweat at all. Look at that easy farm down, Pidgeot really flexing its big wings, and now we're having the Quagsire join the party. I was expecting that Chargeback, to be fair, but it doesn't matter at all. After we debuff them once, I get that we can go for the Brave Bird, but my opponent makes some really good calls. Anyways, now Swampert goes in and we're just gonna keep pushing for those shields, especially with the Hydro Cannons. My opponent now has the return of Chargeback on their side, but it makes no difference once again because we got a lot of shields and one more Pokemon remaining, which is Roserade, to destroy them down. Another Hydro Cannon to finish off Chargeback out of existence, and let's see, trainers, will I switch out here? No, I will not. I'm just gonna stay in, go for the shield, because this is a Swampert video after all, and we're just gonna go all in with the final Shadow Hydro Cannon. Down goes that Pokemon, and look at that, everyone. I'm just gonna let my Swampy go down because they have almost no HP. To be fair, I was expecting them to faint earlier, but they top left anyways, and that's gonna be a fantastic one for us. A very good lead on the next battle. Finally we get a very solid one up in front, and that is gonna be up against Talonflame. So Talonflame has to switch out to Quagsire, and of course before we switch out as well, I want to push a little bit with my Hydro Cannons. After we get a shield here, I decide to overstay, which is a crucial mistake for me because I definitely need to bring my Pidgeot into play. Anyways, I'm just gonna charge up back to a couple of Hydro Cannons. I hope to land at least one and then switch out to my Pidgeot. So over here now we might be in a pickle, but still what we can do is to throw a Brave Bird on the Talonflame. If they take it, this will be absolutely awesome for us. Down they go with the one shot, and now with Talonflame and basically Quagsire out of the way, it all depends on what they might be having at the very end. Down goes their Mud Boy. Let's see how they want to respond, and it is gonna be a victory bell, everyone. So yeah, this is gonna be a very easy farm down, not gonna throw any moves at all, just gonna come into the battle with Roserade, revealing it for fun, and of course this is gonna end up into a fantastic win. Into the next one now with a Pelipper up in front. This is the ultimate core breaker of this team. even though we have a decent battle with our Pidgeot, the other two Pokemon are gonna struggle a lot against the Mantine and Pelipper, and that's mainly because of their typing. So right here we're just gonna take the move. To my surprise, we can survive, and I was expecting the knockout because of how glassy Roserade can be, and my opponent decides to take that Grass Knot and of course survive with the little amount of HP that they have. If I knew this was gonna deal so much damage on a bulky Pokemon like Diggersby, perhaps I would block their move. Anyways, now with that Pelipper coming into the game, I'm just gonna switch out and let's see how this is gonna turn out, because my Hydro Cannons here might be resisted, but still they deal a lot of damage. What I want to do here is to go ahead and push at least for the knockout with my spam moveset, because as you can see they are definitely at the range of one more Hydro. So here comes the move they want to block, and before we reach to the move they get to their Hydro Cannon first. Let's see what their final Pokemon might be. I want to bank that energy for the very end game just in case they have a very weird third Pokemon, but even though it is gonna be a pancake, this one is just gonna fry us instead into its pan, and this is not gonna be looking that well. Hydro Cannon here will definitely guarantee the knockout, but still they have Pelipper with more HP than us, and of course this is gonna be the end to our Swampert. Speaking of Swampert, we grab a very good lead on the next battle against that Skeledirge. Vigoroth on the switch, and Hydro Cannon is my main way to go, especially to get some shields out of play. I know that Roserade can easily survive one move here while we still resist those counters. Now with the Weather Ball here we can drop them significantly low at a point that we might actually complete the farm down with the poison jabs. So we're just gonna block now whatever they throw, and before they reach to another move on the CMP, this is how strong Roserade can be. We're just gonna go for the Weather Ball to finish them off. Not only we guaranteed the knockout here, but also we drop them to a point that they cannot farm a lot of energy from our Roserade, just one Incinerate, which is kind of a big win for us. Now with that Jellicent remaining at the very end, I know that I can easily survive 2 serves, and after that I will drop my Brave Bird if that is possible. Doing this I will not debuff myself a lot, so if I could go for that Brave Bird much earlier, my opponent could potentially 2-shot me down, while at this point I need 3 of those serves instead. So down we go now to that serve, but it makes no difference at all because we can still get to a couple of Hydro Cannons, and yeah, always gonna outspeed them to those charge attacks. So by getting here to another Hydro Cannon, we can basically guarantee the knockout and of course grab another huge victory for our already amazing team. Into the final one now, trainers, with a charge back. Let's see how this is gonna turn around for our opponent, because this one is gonna stay in. They do not want to switch out. This is not a very bad lead for them, because obviously they have the back moves which can do a lot of damage on my Shadow Glassy Pokemon, but this Razor Leafer, or shall I say Magical Leafer, is gonna get to those fast attacks for a lot of damage as well. Sludge Bomb here is gonna connect on my Flying Bird, and that, yeah, Flying Bird, that was a dumb saying, but anyways, so with them returning into the battle with Chargeback, I'm just gonna reveal my Roserade and keep my Swampert for the very end game. Right on the CMP, or at least I was hoping for it, I will go for the Weather Ball and my opponent will take the move. Now with Typhlosion remaining at the very end, all we need to do is to outspeed them to a couple of Hydro Cannons, and I get the feeling that we can absolutely do this. The final Incinerator goes through, but we don't care at all. The Hydro Cannon will connect, and of course this is gonna be the final one for today's content. Huge thanks to that subscriber who recommended this team. That was a pretty fun and entertaining one for today's content. Before you go, leave a huge like, subscribe to my channel, and of course check one of these 2 videos that might be of interest to you. Till the next time, take care, trainers!